normal. So in here, I'm going to first guess at what I would like to put on their face. Because otherwise, when I paint over the image, I'm not going to see any change, and it'll be hard to tell when I've painted far enough over the face. So I'm just going to make a ballpark guess of what it needs. I'm going to tell it to bring up the shadows to give me a little more shadow detail, and maybe bring up the exposure a little bit to open up the area overall. That's just my guess. Nothing changes in the image yet because I haven't painted it in yet. So then before I paint, I look down here and I say, what size brush do I have and how feathered? And I think I'll be pretty good there, just a slightly smaller brush maybe. And now I'm going to come onto the face and I'm just going to paint. And now is the only time I'm going to see that adjustment. Okay, got it on our face. It looks to me like it's not radical enough adjustment. I'm only seeing the face a little bit brighter. So now I can go back and actually dial in what it truly needs. I'll bring up exposure to see how much that helps. I see your face changing. I'll bring up shadows to see if that helps. I like that. Okay, I think that looks all right. The problem with this is I might have gotten some overspray. So let's mouse over that pin to see the overlay. Can you see the red at all extend beyond the left edge of on the photo of her face and a little bit onto her hat? That's some overspray I might not want, because that is going to cause it to have a glow. And so what I might do is zoom in. I'm used to doing 2 keyboard shortcuts in Photoshop, but let me see if I can do it this way. Command plus is another keyboard shortcut for zooming in, because if I click right now, it thinks I want to paint. Usually you're used to being in the library module where you can just hit the space bar and other things to zoom up or click, and clicking it would end up using the brush. But anyway, I have a little bit of a overspray beyond this edge, so that's where I can choose erase near the lower right, and I can come in here and paint then to say get it off of the background. And remember, if you want to see that overlay while you're painting, turn on the checkbox at the bottom. And then that'll tell you where is that overspray, because bringing up the exposure and the shadow slider is probably going to make that sky look like it's glowing a little bit. And I might want to get this off of her hat. Spacebar will give me the hand tool so I can scroll around. All right, so I can do something like that. If I want to no longer see the overlay, I turn off this checkbox at the bottom, and I can see what I've done. Now, if you want to see before and after, with all of your adjustments in Lightroom, there's usually a little bit of a light switch somewhere near the left edge of wherever the sliders are you've been playing with. In my case, it's near the bottom of where all these sliders are, and if I zoom up, you'll see right here there's a little kind of light switch looking thing, and that's going to toggle these settings. So it's either applying to your image or not. And so if I turn that off, I'll see what it looks like before I use the adjustment brush, then click it again, and you'll see what it looks like after. So I brighten up her face nicely. Now there might be other areas of the image that I want to brighten up as well, or make other changes. So let's see how I can go about doing that. A couple of choices. Near the top of where all these sliders are, you'll find the choice of Edit or New. Edit means you're working on whatever pin is currently active, which means if you mouse over your picture, do you see that this pin has a little black dot in the middle of it? The black dot indicates what's active. That'll make more sense once I have more than one of them on my picture. So I can either edit that pin, or if I choose New here, it thinks I'm done with the adjustment I just applied, and now I can create a new one that's independent of the first. Because when I come in, maybe over on this other woman's face, I might decide that she needs to be brightened a different amount, and I might decide she needs a color adjustment or something else. So I'm going to come in here, maybe bring my feathering up to get a softer edge, and see what happens if I paint this onto her. Now in some images, you're going to find, especially faces, that you might need different amounts in different parts of the face. It might be that one area is really in deep shadow and another area is in partial shadow or a little bit lighter, more light hitting it. So when you're in here, there is a choice called